Hi, this is Steve Cook. Welcome back to our 5-part series, The Illusion of Control. Now, in our first conversation, we were never in control. We talked about something that can be difficult to accept. Control was never as certain as we thought it was, no matter how carefully we planned, no matter how hard we worked, no matter how responsible we try to be. Life still has a way of reminding us that tomorrow does not belong to us. Then, in our last conversation, the cost of carrying everything. We talked about the quiet weight so many professional women have carried for decades. You built a career. You took care of your family. You handled phone calls, the emergencies, the appointments, the decisions, the problems nobody else wanted to deal with. And somewhere along the way, you became the dependable one, the one everybody knew would figure it out. Now, today, I want to take that conversation one step deeper because after spending so many years making sure everyone else was okay, there comes a season in life when you have to stop and you have to look at your own future and ask one very serious question. Have I made sure I'm okay? Not everybody else, not the children, not the grandchildren, not the job, not the house, not the people who call you when something goes wrong. You. Have you made sure you are going to be okay when the paycheck stops? Because that's the part of retirement that gets real. There comes a point when your body and your mind cannot keep doing what they used to do. Yeah, you may still be short and you may still be capable and you may still have that drive. But at some point, working forever is not a plan. It's a hope. And hope is not a retirement strategy. That's why I compare retirement to jumping out of an airplane. Now, let me be clear. I have never jumped out of an airplane. And if I'm being honest with you, your boy don't plan to start doing that now. But I do know this. Before a skydiver jumps, the parachute has to be packed. The person trained to pack it is called a certified parachute rigger. Now, that rigger may be excellent. The instructor may be one of the best in the country. They may know more about skydiving than you will ever know. They may teach you how to stand, how to jump, how to steer, how to pull, how to land, and what to do if something goes wrong. But when that airplane door opens 10,000 feet above the ground, there is one truth nobody can involve. The instructor does not jump for you. The rigor does not fall through the sky for you, and neither one of them lives with what might happen next. You do, because when it is your life on the line, you do not outsource responsibility. You listen, you learn, you ask questions. But before you jump, you inspect your parachute. Now, let me bring that back to retirement. You may have a financial advisor. You may even have a financial planner. They may have a beautiful office. They may have plaques on the wall. They may have letters behind their name. And they may have been doing this for 20 or 30 years. But when your paycheck stops, they do not retire. You do. When the market gets ugly, they do not open your monthly statement with your heart pounding. You do. When income becomes uncertain, they do not lie awake at night wondering if everything is going to last. You do. And when the day comes that you finally press that retirement button, they are not the one stepping out of the airplane. You are. So I want to ask you something. And I don't want you to answer it quickly. I want you to sit with it. Who packed your retirement parachute? Did you inspect it? Do you understand it? Do you know how it works? Do you know what happens if the winds change? Do you know what happens if the landing is harder than you expected? Or have you simply assumed that because someone else sounded confident, everything must be fine? That's assumption. An assumption is where danger lives. Not because every advisor is bad, not because every planner is wrong, but because no matter how much advice you receive, you are still the one responsible for understanding the decision. And this is where I want to be very honest with you. My job is not to tell you, oh, just trust me. No, that is not what anxiety-free retirement is about. My job is to educate you, to slow things down, to explain what may have been rushed past you, to help you see questions you may not have known to ask. But I will not inspect your retirement parachute for you. You're going to do that because this is your life, your future, your retirement, your peace. And after all the years you spent carrying everyone else, this is the season where you must make sure unequivocally that you are okay. Not guessing, not hoping, not assuming, but knowing. Because there's a big difference between having a retirement account and having retirement confidence. There's a big difference between having someone advise you in truly understanding what happens when your paycheck stops. And there's a big difference between standing at the open door of that airplane, hoping everything works, and knowing you have inspected the parachute yourself. That's what this conversation is really about. Not fear, responsibility, not panic, but preparation, not blaming everyone else, but taking ownership before the jump. Because once you retire, once that paycheck stops, once you step into the next season of life, you deserve to know the life you work so hard to build is not being left to chance. So, let me ask you again. Who's packing your retirement parachute? And more importantly, have you inspected it yourself? Now, in our next conversation, we're going to talk about something I believe changes everything. It's called peace doesn't come from predicting tomorrow, because real peace does not come from pretending we can control the future. It comes from preparing for the day we finally admit we can't. Now, I'll see you in the next video.